Today we're taking you on a nostalgic journey through time to explore 10 famous beverages that once quenched the thirst of many, but have since faded into history. From the 1930s to the 1980s, these drinks were iconic, beloved by generations, and each has its own unique story of rise and fall. Number 1. Crystal Pepsi. Crystal Pepsi, launched by PepsiCo in 1992, was a transparent cola designed to offer a fresh twist on traditional dark colas. Despite a significant marketing blitz that included a Super Bowl commercial and a campaign featuring Van Halen's hit song Right Now, Crystal Pepsi struggled to maintain consumer interest. The initial excitement quickly waned as the novelty of a clear cola wore off. One major issue was the confusion surrounding its flavor. Despite its appearance, Crystal Pepsi tasted almost identical to regular cola. This discrepancy between appearance and taste left many consumers puzzled and unsatisfied. Additionally, the product suffered from a lack of strong brand identity, making it difficult to establish a loyal customer base. PepsiCo's ambitious plan to revolutionize the cola market with a clear soda ultimately backfired. By 1994, due to disappointing sales and negative feedback, Crystal Pepsi was pulled from the shelves. Despite its brief lifespan, it remains a notable example of how even well-funded and innovative products can fail due to misaligned consumer expectations and marketing missteps. Number 2. Tab, introduced by Coca-Cola in 1963, was one of the pioneering diet sodas aimed at calorie-conscious consumers. Originally sweetened with cyclamate and saccharin, it appealed to those seeking a sugar-free option in an era when diet drinks were a novelty. Despite early controversies over its artificial sweeteners, Tab maintained a dedicated following for decades. In the 1980s, the introduction of Diet Coke marked the beginning of Tab's decline. Diet Coke quickly overshadowed Tab due to its familiar branding and taste, which resonated more with mainstream consumers. Tab's unique taste, described by some as an acquired one, couldn't compete with the broader appeal of Diet Coke. Number 3. Jolt Cola. Jolt Cola, introduced in 1985, became famous for its high caffeine content, marketed with the tagline, "All the sugar and twice the caffeine." Targeting students, gamers, and late-night workers, Jolt Cola aimed to provide a significant energy boost compared to traditional sodas. Its bold approach capitalized on the demand for a more potent caffeine kick. However, Jolt Cola faced significant challenges over the years. Regulatory concerns emerged regarding its high caffeine levels, leading to scrutiny and tighter control over its distribution. Additionally, the growing health consciousness among consumers in the late 1990s and early 2000s posed another obstacle. As people increasingly opted for healthier beverages, Jolt Cola's sugar-laden, high-caffeine formula fell out of favor. Despite attempts to adapt, including reformulations and rebranding efforts, Jolt Cola couldn't sustain its initial momentum. Production ultimately ceased in 2009, marking the end of an era for this iconic energy-boosting soda. Jolt Cola remains a nostalgic reminder of a time when consumers eagerly embraced more extreme options in their quest for energy and alertness. Number 4. New Coke. New Coke, introduced by Coca-Cola in April 1985, was a radical change from the original formula that had been beloved for nearly a century. This new recipe was sweeter and smoother, aiming to compete more directly with Pepsi, which had been gaining market share. However, the reformulation backfired spectacularly. Loyal Coca-Cola drinkers reacted with outrage, feeling betrayed by the company's decision to alter their favorite beverage. The backlash was immediate and intense, with customers inundating Coca-Cola's headquarters with complaints and demands for the original formula's return. Protests and boycotts were organized, and the media widely covered the consumer dissatisfaction. Coca-Cola's executives were taken aback by the strong negative response and quickly realized the mistake. By July 1985, just 79 days after the launch, the company announced the return of the original formula, branded as Coca-Cola Classic. New Coke lingered on shelves for a short time but failed to gain traction and was quietly discontinued. This episode remains a significant case study in brand loyalty and consumer reaction. Number 5. OK Soda. OK Soda, launched by Coca-Cola in 1993, was an audacious attempt to connect with Generation X through a countercultural, anti-establishment message. The beverage's branding and marketing were unlike any other soda at the time. The cans featured quirky, abstract artwork, and the messaging often seemed cynical or self-deprecating, a stark contrast to the more optimistic advertising seen from other brands. Despite the innovative approach, OK Soda struggled to gain widespread acceptance. The flavor itself was a blend of cola and citrus, which many found unappealing or difficult to categorize. Additionally, the heavy-handed marketing tactics, designed to appeal to a younger, more skeptical demographic, ended up alienating potential customers. Coca-Cola's experiment with OK Soda highlighted the risks of overestimating the appeal of unconventional branding. The campaign failed to translate into strong sales, leading to its discontinuation in 1995, just 2 years after its introduction. This short-lived product remains a curious chapter in Coca-Cola's history, exemplifying how even major companies can misjudge market trends and consumer tastes. Number 6, Pepsi Blue. Pepsi Blue, introduced in 2002, aimed to capture consumer attention with its bold berry flavor and striking blue color. The beverage was marketed heavily, with promotions tied to popular culture events and endorsements from celebrities. Despite the initial buzz, Pepsi Blue faced significant challenges. The vibrant blue color, while eye-catching, was derived from Blue One, an artificial dye that drew criticism from health-conscious consumers. Additionally, the berry flavor was met with mixed reviews. Many found it overly sweet and artificial, a stark departure from the familiar taste of traditional colas. Pepsi Blue's novelty quickly wore off, and it struggled to build a loyal customer base. The combination of its controversial ingredients and polarizing taste led to declining sales. By 2004, PepsiCo decided to pull Pepsi Blue from the US market, marking it as another ambitious yet ultimately unsuccessful attempt to innovate within the cola industry. Pepsi Blue remains a notable example of how bold marketing and unique flavor profiles can sometimes fall short in sustaining long-term consumer interest. Number 7, Orbits. Orbits, introduced in the late 1990s, stood out with its unique presentation of floating, edible balls suspended in a clear liquid. Marketed as a texturally enhanced alternative beverage, Orbits aimed to intrigue consumers with its visually striking appearance. The drink came in a variety of flavors, with the floating balls adding an unusual texture experience that was unlike any other beverage on the market. Despite its innovative concept, Orbits faced several challenges. The unusual texture, while a novelty, was off-putting to many consumers who found it unsettling to drink. Additionally, the flavor combinations, such as vanilla orange and raspberry citrus, did not resonate widely with the public. The high price point also made it less accessible to a broader audience. The niche appeal of Orbits wasn't enough to sustain its presence in a competitive market. By 1997, just a few years after its launch, Orbits was discontinued. Its brief existence remains a curious footnote in beverage history, showcasing how novelty and innovation alone aren't always enough to ensure long-term success. Number 8, Surge. Surge, launched by Coca-Cola in 1996, was designed to take on Pepsi's Mountain Dew with its bold citrus flavor and high caffeine content. Initially, Surge garnered a dedicated fan base, particularly among teenagers and young adults seeking an energetic alternative to traditional sodas. The drink was heavily promoted with an edgy marketing campaign, including extreme sports and adrenaline-fueled imagery. Despite the initial enthusiasm, Surge faced declining sales as the novelty wore off and competition intensified. By 2003, Coca-Cola decided to discontinue the beverage due to its underperformance in the market. This decision, however, did not end Surge's story. A passionate community of fans, driven by nostalgia and a desire to relive their youth, launched an online campaign to bring Surge back. Their efforts paid off when Coca-Cola reintroduced Surge in limited quantities in 2014, initially through online sales and later expanding to select stores. While the re-release saw a warm reception, Surge never quite recaptured its 1990s heyday, remaining a niche product for its loyal followers rather than regaining widespread popularity. Number 9, Hubba Bubba Soda. Hubba Bubba Soda, an intriguing bubblegum-flavored beverage, made its debut in the 1980s, targeting a youthful audience with its playful concept. The soda aimed to tap into the nostalgia associated with Hubba Bubba bubblegum, enticing kids and teens with the idea of drinking their favorite chewy treat. However, despite initial curiosity and excitement, Hubba Bubba Soda struggled to maintain its momentum in the competitive beverage market. While the novelty of the bubblegum flavor initially attracted consumers, it soon became apparent that the novelty alone was not enough to sustain long-term interest. As consumer preferences evolved and diversified, the demand for such niche flavors waned, leading to Hubba Bubba Soda's discontinuation. Although it may have left a mark on the memories of those who remember its brief stint on the market, the soda serves as a reminder of the challenges brands face when attempting to translate unconventional flavors into successful beverage products. Number 10. Coca-Cola Black. Coca-Cola Black, introduced in 2006, attempted to cater to the adult demographic by offering a coffee-flavored cola, positioning itself as a more sophisticated beverage option. The idea was to tap into the growing trend of consumers seeking alternatives to traditional sodas, especially among those looking for more complex flavor profiles. However, despite Coca-Cola's efforts to market Black as a premium and upscale product, it struggled to resonate with consumers. The fusion of coffee and cola flavors might have seemed intriguing on paper, but in practice, it failed to captivate taste buds on a large scale. The novelty of the flavor combination may have attracted initial interest, but it wasn't enough to sustain long-term consumption. Ultimately, Coca-Cola Black faced challenges in finding its place in the beverage market, and its discontinuation in 2008 serves as a reminder of the complexities involved in introducing innovative products, even for a company as established as Coca-Cola.